After the sounding of the sixth trumpet, another mighty angel came down from heaven. He held a little book in his hand. He told John to eat the book. He said that it would be sweet in the mouth like honey, but bitter in the belly. John obeyed the angel and ate the book. Sure enough, it was sweet in the mouth and bitter in the belly. Edgar Cayce tells us that this story is about what happens to us once we have an understanding of our emotions and spiritual principles. Then we have to apply what we have learned. The process is one of spiritual initiation. Cayce says that this is part of everyone's spiritual journey. When we learn about spiritual truth, it is sweet in the mind to contemplate and sweet in the mouth to discuss. But when we have to live that truth in the midst of life, it can become very bitter to stomach. Again, this is part of the purification process. We come to know who we are and what we believe by application of spiritual truth. This is how we are transformed. By its very nature, spiritual initiation is voluntary. We have to say yes to the sweetness. No one can be forced into it. If we are forced to be spiritual, we usually don't become bitter, angry or resentful perhaps, but not bitter. To experience this type of bitterness, we must have had the sweetness first. We must have said, yes, I want spiritual transformation. Then, when we apply spiritual truth, we are purified. That is not always easy to digest. If it were not for the sweetness that draws us into the initiation, we might never get around to it. No one said that enlightenment was always easy or fun. But just keep in mind that we are always meeting ourselves. So when the bitterness comes, we can be sure that it is coming from within us. We are being purified. The key is to not let the process end with bitterness, but to accept the initiation and be purified of the negative attitudes and emotions that are pouring forth. Don't allow yourself to lapse into feeling sorry for yourself or blaming others for how you feel. It is your initiation. Own your feelings and work through the bitterness. The concept of initiation exposing negative attitudes, emotions, and behaviors will be familiar to anyone who has been active in a church or other spiritual organization. The long shadow cast by a high spiritual ideal often leads to unseemly behaviors as drosses are brought to the surface for purification, as sweetness turns to bitter. By understanding the sweet and bitter of initiation, you can provide support and assistance to others as they undergo the initiation process.